Can you imagine living in a world both dumbed down and controlled by AI? Well, the folks in this week's episode, Idiocracy, lived in the year 2505, and it was a time when humans had pretty much relinquished control to corporate AI enabled systems. Okay, yikes. In the dystopian world of Idiocracy's 2505, the people who should be the smartest, doctors, police, government leaders, have become so dependent on AI systems, they have lost all of their institutional knowledge and even fundamental interest in learning. Here in 2024, about 481 years before the events of Idiocracy, social media has been one of the scapegoats as to why people are becoming dumber and dumber. People's critical thinking skills are dwindling, with many people believing anything that is posted online because, well, if it's on Facebook, Instagram, wherever, it must be true. And that's not the case here. I truly want to educate and entertain you, but some people are more than willing to believe anything they see on social media. The more likes, the better. Go ahead and like and subscribe to this page, though. Though it was a box office bomb when released, Idiocracy gave people a vision, a very Mike Judge-esque, dumbed down vision of the future. And in many startling ways, that future is coming true, with AI being just the beginning. And a common refrain today whenever something stupid happens is, "I didn't think Idiocracy was a documentary." Well, we're not quite at the level of watering our crops with electrolyte-rich beverages or the president firing a machine gun during a presidential State of the Union speech. We have 481 years until we catch up with the movie's time frame. So here are 10 things Idiocracy predicted that have come to fruition in some way. 1. In Idiocracy, the police brutally arrest Joe, aka Not Sure, multiple times, randomly pepper spraying him, blowing up Frito's car, and treating him like garbage. Though, in fairness, Not Sure was a stranger in a strange land who wasn't scannable, so to the people of the future, he was sus, as the kids say, from the start. However, we are seeing police brutality cases nationwide in startling numbers. 2, right now we have a plethora of entertainment options, and for a while we were living in what was considered to be the, quote, golden age of television, with hits like The Sopranos, Breaking Bad, and in my humble opinion, the last great sitcom, 30 Rock. But we also enjoy Wipeout, a jackass-like sports competition where we are all but forced to laugh at people's pain when they, wipe out. Today's Wipeout is basically Idiocracy's Ow, my balls. 3, in Idiocracy's future, convicted criminals are punished in public on the wildly popular TV show Monday Night Rehabilitation. While we don't have public executions, we do have public humiliation. I mean, think about how many times social media today has put someone on blast and essentially canceled them. 4, Idiocracy showed a future in which the English language had deteriorated into a hybrid of hillbilly, valley girl, inner city slang, and various grunts. What are new words like amazeballs, cray-cray, YOLO, selfie, or turnt, if not this very definition? But in fairness, abbreviations have long been a part of our lexicon. You've likely used the very popular OK in the past few hours alone, an abbreviation that dates all the way back to 1839. And with the advent of the internet, and especially beginning with AOL, we became more accustomed to acronyms to truncate our communication, especially when we're texting now. 5. As climate change, changes our climate, we are seeing its effects today. So who knows what 2505 will look like? And while climate change was a relatively new concept when the film was released, certain states began exhibiting signs of drought at the beginning of the new millennia, especially and including California. And while we don't know where Idiocracy takes place, we see that these people have experienced bad droughts for decades. In Idiocracy, the future is plagued by dust storms and dead crops. Of course, that's because the crops are being watered with Brawndo, because it's got electrolytes. It's what plants crave, and it's the thirst mutilator, according to its marketing. 6. The food in Idiocracy has more molecules and electrolytes as though it makes it better. And that cheese sauce we saw Frito drinking has to be pretty much 90% plastic at this point. But beyond plastic cheese, of which we do have, how is that fundamentally different from our habit of slapping gluten-free, organic, or all natural on everything, no matter what its origin actually is? And in the world of 2505, one of America's problems is that it's running out of necessities like French fries and burrito coverings. That would be funny, except for the fact that today we're running out of things like chocolate, bacon, and coffee. And I have a yikes for 2 out of 3 of those. And oh yeah, we're also running out of clean water and quality soil, both of which are important for growing crops, Brawndo notwithstanding. And to this end, Idiocracy features an earth overwhelmed by trash with heaps of rubbish everywhere. The quote, great garbage avalanche was caused by a single beer can falling from the garbage truck. And let's not forget, a beer can made of aluminum is recyclable. In 2023, humans generated 2.6 trillion, with a T, pounds of garbage. 7. In Idiocracy, people's attention spans are nearly non-existent, and today we hear reports that attention spans are in fact dwindling. Now, let's be honest with ourselves. How many times have you been annoyed by a TikTok video that is taking too long? In fairness, most cooking videos can be shortened by half, but that's beside the point. When Frito's wall exploded when Not Sure's cryogenic capsule blasted through the walls, he doesn't turn away from his TV and toilet recliner combination, of which I'm positive will come to market one of these days. How could someone not notice when their poorly built house nearly collapses? Ask the kid who was nearly hit in the face by a baseball bat at a Pittsburgh Pirates spring training game because he was so distracted by his phone. But who among us has not been distracted by our phones? And our parents were often just as distracted by their toys and gadgets. They just weren't phones. They were lawn darts and asbestos and lead-laden products. Lead ingestion, by the way, has been shown to lower IQs. 8. The controversial Supreme Court ruling in Citizens United v. FEC established that corporate entities have the same rights and political representation that humans do. In Idiocracy, a woman whose children are starving runs afoul of the Carl's Jr. AI-generated machine and loses her kids to the corporation, being told, quote, Carl's Jr. believes no child should go hungry. You are an unfit mother. Your child would be placed in the custody of Carl's Jr. She is then gassed and passes out in the streets. 9. Idiocracy predicted a future where advertising is everywhere, from people's clothing to the presidential lectern. We're not there yet, but try going somewhere or going on social media without something being sold to you. And ad services are cutting into our paid streaming services, the very thing we collectively cut the cord over years ago. 10. As he thaws out of hibernation, Not Sure is arrested for not paying his hospital bill due to not having a barcode tattooed on him. As of 2023, medical debt is the largest cause of bankruptcy in the US, with roughly 40% of Americans owing some kind of money for medical procedures. But let's not forget, there used to be debtor's prison, of which we have moved away from, so we're more advanced in that way. So while it is a common, somewhat modern refrain that we are all getting dumber, keep in mind that the premise of Idiocracy, someone waking up several hundred years in the future to find that people have gotten more stupid, was previously written about in The Marching Morons, a short story written in 1951 by Cyril M. Kornbluth. So while Mike Judge knows a thing or two about dumbing down a population, he's certainly not alone in worrying about humanity's fate. So take Not Sure's advice. Read a book. Encourage your kids to read a book. Vote. And let's all get our eyeballs away from our phones for a few minutes after this video, of course. And on that note, go ahead and give the subscribe button a swift kick to the balls so you never miss a thing, including our upcoming Action August, where we are discussing 5 action movies for you adrenaline junkies out there, or people who just like some car chase sequences, quick action, and maybe a relationship here and there. We thank our subscribers, our viewers, and supporters. As you know, or you should know, new episodes of the Real Relationships podcast drop every Thursday, along with this show on YouTube. Subscribe to the Real Relationships podcast on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get podcasts. Stay safe, stay away from the Brondo, and we'll see you soon.